Hello, my name is Hailey Duque, and I'm going to be giving my speech on Abraham Lincoln, and here is the speech outline for authenticity. As many of you may know, Abraham Lincoln is one of the most influential people of all time. He was the 16th President of the United States, and he was known for not only abolishing slavery, but for also uniting America when it was split into two because of the Civil War. He was known as an honest man, a caring man, a kind man, an intellectual person for his age, and as a wise person for his age. He is one of the most impactful and important people in American history, and this speech will give you reasons why that is. This speech will also dive into his background, into his personal life, into why and how he became the person he was. And last and not least, this speech will also show you why this person is important to me, myself, and why he is an influence to me. Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809 in a small log cabin. Ever since he was a boy, he had to go through hardships, like his mother dying right in front of him at the age of 9 due to milk poisoning. His father was also very different from Abraham Lincoln because Lincoln always had ambitions to learn, but Thomas Lincoln did not value education. He always shunned Abraham Lincoln for wanting to learn and for wanting to go to school. So, and because of this, when Abraham Lincoln turned 18, he wanted to move away. So he moved away and he took up odd jobs at first, becoming a bartender and as a canoe rider. He eventually ends up moving from these odd jobs to Springfield, Illinois to become a lawyer, which he succeeds in doing. He ends up marrying a woman named Mary Todd as well, who is ironically the daughter of a plantation owner that owned many slaves. Abraham Lincoln did not agree with slavery even as a young boy, and that's the irony of it. Abraham Lincoln also, after a very successful career as a lawyer, decides he wants more. So he ends up applying for senator for the state of Illinois. He ends up losing that election, but he ends up running for the President of the United States, which he ends up winning. But because of his anti-slavery outlooks and because of his strong hatred towards slavery too, he would not get much support from the South. So the South decided to secede from the United States. What followed was the longest and most bloody war of American history, the Civil War, which took the lives of 600,000 people. Abraham Lincoln was also very stressed at this time, dealing with a lot of hardships, including the death of his own son from typhoid. It took 5 long years for the war to end, but the war ended in 1865. But just 5 days later, Abraham Lincoln went to go see a movie in Ford's Theater, a play in Ford's Theater, and he was killed by John Wilkes Booth on April 14th, 1865. Okay, some of his accomplishments include his ability to leave from his father at a young age in order to pursue his goals into learning and education. I feel like that is a very tough thing to do, and I feel like that is a big accomplishment on his own. He was also known for becoming a lawyer, which is not easy to do, which involves a lot of studying, but that's just like the personal achievements. Some of his world achievements that affected the world was him becoming president and him deciding that slavery was not right. Slavery was going on for many years, and he decided that he wanted to put an end to it. So he decides to put his foot down and release the Emancipation Proclamation, which was a legal document saying that all slaves in the South were free, which obviously didn't take effect because that's why the South was seceding. So basically the slaves were free, up to 4 million slaves were free, but they were legally free, but the South wouldn't let them go until they won the war. But after he won the war and brought America back together when it split apart, up to 4 million slaves, like I said, were freed. Now, those are just some of his accomplishments that he made. This person, Abraham Lincoln, is important to me myself because he proves as a great role model for me. He is an honest man, like I said, known as Honest Abe. He was very motivated, and he was just a very kind person in general, always nice to everybody he meets. And that is something that I wanted to strive to be myself. This person also is just He was one of the most important people in American history, and although I don't want to be that important, I guess I want to be able to follow in Abraham Lincoln's footsteps, maybe make something for myself, and maybe do some good for the world myself. In conclusion, Abraham Lincoln is, like I said, one of the most influential people in American history. He ended the Civil War. He was able to free the slaves, and he was able to do all of these great things despite hardships in his life. And this is why he is a big motivation to me myself. This is why I want to grow up to be just like him. Thank you.